All right, in this video, we're going to talk about some methods that are used to tone silver coins like Morgan dollars, and how to spot that ultimately. So if you're purchasing something on eBay or at a coin shop or something along those lines, that you can kind of spot whether or not that Morgan dollar is naturally toned or artificially toned. And in this video, I'll kind of show you guys some methods again that are used for toning. One being using this product right here, which is called liver of sulfur. This is probably one of the most common things that people will use if they're trying to artificially tone silver. And then here we'll talk about this as well. This is just a silver cleaner. And we'll talk about that too, just because this is a part of the whole process of things I see on eBay when people are reselling coins and that sort of thing is, I think a lot of the times they'll have a coin like I have in my hand here. They will start by probably even cleaning it with something like E-Zest. And then after that, they will actually move on and tone it. And it, from that point forward, can look a lot like almost like an MS coin that has toning. And if you look at this one here, this looks very close to MS. If you look at the details on there, it's pretty close. This is really, like an AU 55, but I do believe this has been cleaned as well. But this doesn't have like a MS luster, as you can see. It's very flat luster, no cartwheel luster. When you get close at it, though, in some cases, certainly with proper pictures, even if I took a picture of this and I posted it on eBay, it almost looks like it's in MS type of condition. So, the right certain angles and photos definitely can be deceiving. The backside of this looks maybe a little bit better. The luster, you could maybe kind of get a better look, like there's some slight cartwheeling to it, for example, which is oftentimes the case. A lot of times, some of these Morgans were kept in albums and they would get wiped down back in the day, or just rubbed from page to page. And, that would ultimately kind of remove that luster from the front of the coin more than anything, or the obverse. And then the reverse would stay in a little bit better shape in some cases. But this coin is in about AU 55 condition. I believe that somebody cleaned it prior to me getting it. If you just take a close look, you can see sort of fine lines in there and that sort of thing. But again, taking the picture at the right angle, you can kind of see some breast feathers. People would, again, try to repost something like this after it's cleaned on eBay as, MS or uncirculated. I'm going to pause for a second. We're going to get I think we'll start with the E-Zest here. We'll dip this Morgan into the E-Zest. I'll show you what that ends up looking like. And we'll keep moving forward throughout the video with some toning and some different methods that can be or have been thought of to be used for toning Morgans. So stay tuned. All right, so here we got our Morgan ready to be dipped. You can see kind of those darker areas on there. Those probably will come off. Some of them might remain on there to some degree. If we left it in there longer, we certainly scrubbed it a little bit, they'd come off. But any toning you see on here around the rim, yellowness, that's probably all going to be completely gone after we dip here. So let's get our E-Zest. I don't have much in this one left. I've used this for a whole bunch of variety of things. I do a lot of silver pouring and that sort of thing. So I will tone things, silver pieces, and then clean them with E-Zest, that sort of thing. I do not recommend cleaning Morgans with E-Zest for any reason. You can see how blast white that is already. Let's go ahead and we'll set this aside. I'm just gonna rinse this off here. All right. So let me dry this off. I'll get a better camera angle again and light on this, and we'll take another look at it in here in just a second. All right, so we're back to our original lighting here, just to make it for a better comparison. But you can see this is after the dip, and it does, in a way, I think, look better, at least kind of through the camera here. Here's the reverse. Again, that looks quite a bit better to me. If I saw some photos of that on eBay that were a little unclear, I would think that that's maybe even, in uncirculated condition. Let's get a closer look. With a closer look, you can tell that it's been cleaned just because of the surfaces. You can tell that the luster's not quite right. When we look at the obverse, you can tell it's been cleaned. And when I look at it with the naked eye, it's maybe not quite as clear on video, but it looks like it was almost like it was whizzed to me. But it was harshly cleaned regardless at some point. So, but I think it does in some ways look better, and it could make for more appealing photos. So, and especially once it gets some artificial toning on it, even more so. So, again, I'm going to pause and we will get started with some toning of this. All right, we're back. We got our mixture of the liver of sulfur in just some water here. You can have various difference in concentrations. The more liver of sulfur you have in here, the darker or more reaction you're going to get with your silver piece, for example. And then vice versa, the less you put in there, the less reaction you'll get. When I'm, putting stamps onto silver pieces or something along those lines, I can use a very high concentration, and that'll put basically it'll make my stamp black, for example, and very readable on silver. All right, so first off, typically you'll want to warm your piece up, or you warm the piece up, and from there you can just kind of apply. And there's various different methods of this when it comes to applying and how to get different types of toning and that sort of thing. But let's just say I wanted to try to tone like this and make it pretend or look like there was a crescent tone on this. You can see that it's already having a reaction there. And there's other ways to do this. This would be a very quick type of a method that is not usually going to leave the greatest looking appearance. And usually in most cases you'd be able to say instantly, oh, that's artificially toned, or it doesn't even look good. If you apply the heat more slowly, for example, it can change the way that this toning looks, and it'll start off with more of a yellow appearance, and then you can get it to look more orange and red, and then purple, and then usually it goes into browns. Like this is kind of going more instantly into a brown, for example. Let's just see if this is cooled down enough, or if I apply a little here on this side, if it looks a little different, to give you an idea. But again, there are other methods that take a lot longer. Some of you have probably heard of the hard-boiled egg method, and that does tone, coins as well. Again, you're not going to usually get a very good appearance with that. It's just going to look kind of usually yellow. But you can kind of see when we look at different parts of this Morgan now, though, that, again, at glances, it's like, whoa, that looks like a really nice MS coin. If you look at areas like the hair and some of the details, it really looks like it could be an MS coin, but it's not even close to that. And then you can kind of see, this toning has some purples in it and yellow, and that just took us, 10 seconds to do some of that. This other side I applied lighter, so it's probably just going to stay more of a yellow color like that. If we spent more time on this, again, I could show you guys various methods and different ways to make this look more naturally toned. But to anybody that's seen these or with a trained eye, typically you are always going to be able to spot that it is an artificially toned coin. All right, so let's do this. I'm going to pause again for a second. I'm going to grab that eZest again. I'm going to show you guys again what that can do with a coin like this. And basically you'll see that it just turns it right back to the previous state. But you can kind of see these colors are still changing even a little bit. And, if we use different methods to apply that, you could get some pretty interesting toning. But when it looks blotchy like this, natural toning usually always has very even type of rainbow type of appearance. When it's blotchy like that, it's almost always surely artificial toned. So, okay, let's pause and we'll come back. All right, we are back with our eZest. We're going to take our artificially toned coin. We are going to drop it into the eZest, and just like that, that toning is gone. Let's get the rest of it off there. There we go. All right, so back to having no toning on that Morgan there. All right, I'm going to pause again. We're going to just rinse this off, dry it off, and then we are going to move to the garage, and I'm going to show you guys the heat torch method. All right, so we're out here at the heat torch. I have tried this method actually once before to clean a coin that had a bunch of stuff on it in order to have it made into a little bit more of an art piece, which is this here, which was carved by somebody in Mexico. In any case, when I was heating it up to get that gunk off of it, it did not tone it at all. So to be honest, I don't think that this torch toning method is valid or is a real thing. People talk about it a lot, heat toning. I'm sure maybe there are some methods that you could potentially do that, but I think simply applying heat with a torch or something, like putting it in the oven, I don't think that alone, for example, is going to give you any kind of a great tone look. But let's get this torch turned on, and we'll see if we can't get any toning on this Morgan. And again, I think this is still a perfect piece for this. I think this is still what somebody would have used when they try to do stuff like this, which is have something that looks almost MS, clean it, and then try to do some of this artificial toning. So give me a second. I got to put the camera down in order to get my torch on, and we will see if we can heat tone this Morgan. All right, so I might have to voice over this. All right, so we'll start off by applying some light heat here with the torch and see if we get any color. So just a little bit there, not seeing any color. There we got a little searing kind of instantly on the coin with a little bit of additional heat. But no color, as you can see, no toning. There's nothing on the backside or reverse either, so as of yet, no color. Let's flip it around. Let's try applying some heat to the reverse. And still no color here. Apply a little bit more. Here we got some pretty strong heat. No color, as you can see. Yeah, even stronger heat. Still no color. So really, you know, all the heat that we're applying here is really just cleaning the coin. If anything, people have used this method to actually clean coins and then, you know, give them this kind of an appearance. If you overdo it like we're actually kind of doing here, you're going to see it's just turning it blast white like this. Let me flip this back over. And you can kind of just see really there's just those searing marks on there, but we're not getting any color or toning out of this method at all. Again, just applying some direct heat. If I kept much more heat on this for much longer, it would turn it red hot. And really at this point, you're just going to cause more damage to the coin than you are any kind of toning. So I'll get this thing cooled off. We'll take it inside and I'll show you guys kind of what this looks like here in a second. But it really loses all its luster completely, and it almost looks like a fake Morgan. So let me let this cool off here in a minute, and once again we'll come back and I'll show you guys a few more things on cleaning and that sort of thing. We'll be right back. All right, so we're back at the desk one more time to get another look now after our heat-treated Morgan here. And when we take a closer look, you can see it has zero luster to it now. It's just basically blast white. The outer surface of the coin, let's see if I can get any kind of a shot of it, but it looks like it has a frost on it. In some cases that could look really nice. In this case it doesn't. But it looks like it has almost like a thick frost on it. You can kind of see with like a magnifying glass or looking really closely at it, it almost looks porous, but it just looks terrible, really. But you can still see it looks like it has a lot of details. It looks like it's now even maybe, you know, just as much so, you know, passing off or close to being uncirculated. The backside, I think, even looks more uncirculated now than it did before. So, but here's what you can see what the torch, at least heat treating, did on this. If you guys have ever had any other methods heat treated wise that have done anything to tone Morgans, you know, let me know in the comments below. But I'm also just quite certain that nothing like a furnace or oven is going to have any kind of a different or better effect as far as heat treatment goes. Again, if you guys know otherwise, you know, let me know in the comments below. All right, I'm going to show you guys one last thing here as far as kind of like a cleaning per se, and we'll wrap up this video. All right, so for the final step of this video, we're going to drop this Morgan into our tumbler here, and we will see what the final results are after just maybe 5 minutes or so in the tumbler. All right, we got our Morgan inside. Let's get ready to tumble. All right, so our tumbler just stopped. Let's get this over here. We'll open this up and see what the result was of about 7 minutes, I'd say, probably in the tumbler here. All right, and you guys can see that it's back to having now a shine to it, at least anyway. Versus that completely flat, frosted out white glaze on it from before. So I'll rinse this off. We'll go back to the desk here a minute and kind of recap this video. All right, so here's our you know, final Morgan here after its various run-throughs of toning and cleaning. And you can see after going through the tumbler or polisher, it's shiny again. Had I left it in there longer, it would have got rid of more of the kind of white stuff, but classic sign of a coin that's been cleaned. Again, definitely that really shiny, luster, but that shine. I have a hard time even calling that luster, but breast feathers still look pretty decent. So somebody that took a picture of this at the right angle, could kind of fool somebody. But in any case, hopefully you guys kind of learned some stuff out of this video or found it helpful to some degree. This is really not, an instructional video at all on how to clean Morgans or coins or how to tone them. More so really just so that you guys know that this kind of stuff can be done if you didn't already know so, and how the various methods of toning can look versus artificial and natural toning, so that hopefully moving forward in the future, if you're questioning something, you won't get fooled by thinking that it's natural toning when it's artificial, or seeing these various stages of cleaning that we did with this Morgan. Again, helpful for you guys to be able to spot a cleaned coin. But hopefully you guys found this useful. If so, please hit me a like and feel free to subscribe. Thank you for watching.